Who do you think eats the most eggs in the world? America, right? With their scrambled eggs, pancakes, and bacon breakfasts? Well, no, it's not America. For decades, the real egg-eating champion was Japan, a country known for sushi, tofu, and seaweed. Also eats more eggs than beef, pork, or chicken. Surprised yet? In fact, the average Japanese person eats over 320 eggs per year. That's nearly one egg every single day. And not just cooked eggs. Raw eggs, on rice, in dipping sauces, even in convenience stores. But here's the real mystery. Why does Japan love eggs so much? Why are raw eggs not just safe, but considered delicious? And why has America on the world's breakfast king actually cut back on eggs for decades? Is this just a cultural thing? Or is there something deeper going on nutritionally, historically, even spiritually? In this video, we'll explore how Japan quietly became the egg capital of the world. We'll uncover the science, the safety, the flavors, and the forgotten history behind one of the simplest, most powerful foods on earth. And we'll ask a simple question. In a world full of processed junk and fad diets, could Japan's love for eggs actually be one of the smartest traditions we've ever ignored? Let's crack it open, starting with a shocking fact in Section 1. Section 1: Who eats the most eggs? And why it's not the U.S. Who eats the most eggs in the world? You might think it's the U.S., but you'd be wrong. For decades, the egg-eating champion was actually Japan. Yes, Japan, the land of sushi, seaweed, and miso soup. In 2017, the average Japanese person ate over 320 eggs a year. That's nearly one egg every single day. By comparison, Americans ate about 250, and in some years, even less. Think about it, eggs in Japan aren't just a breakfast food. They show up in ramen, in bentos, in sukiyaki, and even convenience stores. And here's the twist: many of those eggs aren't even cooked. Raw eggs are common, and people eat them without fear. Meanwhile, in the U.S., raw eggs are considered dangerous. Even slightly runny yolks can raise eyebrows. So what's going on here? Why is Japan so comfortable with something the West avoids? Could this be a cultural difference in perception? Or is it about food safety, history, or even national mindset? Here's something else too. Consider Japan eats more eggs by weight than beef, pork, or chicken. Not just more often, but more heavily. That tells us something. Eggs aren't just a food in Japan. They're a way of life. And that raises a bigger question. If raw eggs are so dangerous, why does one of the safest, cleanest countries on earth eat them every day? Let's find out. Section 2: Eggs in every meal. Japan's delicious obsession. In Japan, eggs aren't just for breakfast. They appear in every meal, at every level of cuisine. Let's start with Tamago Kake Gohan, just rice with a raw egg and soy sauce. It's one of the most common breakfasts in the country. Simple, quick, and surprisingly comforting. At lunch, you might find a bento box with a sweet rolled omelette inside. At dinner, you might dip sukiyaki beef into raw egg before eating. In ramen shops, a perfectly soft boiled egg is a must. In winter, eggs float in oden broth, warming your hands and your heart. And if you're in a hurry, no problem. Just walk into a convenience store. You'll find boiled eggs, half-cooked eggs, tamagoyaki, and more ready to go. What's amazing is how naturally eggs blend into Japanese cuisine. They're not the main character, but they're always there, adding richness and warmth. In the West, eggs are usually center stage like omelets or sunny side-ups. In Japan, they play a supporting role, but one you'd miss if it were gone. Why does this matter? Because it shows how food becomes culture. When something is everywhere, you stop noticing it. But when you look closely, you realize eggs are everywhere for a reason. They're affordable, filling, and pair beautifully with rice and broth. In a land that values simplicity, harmony, and nourishment, eggs might be the most Japanese food of all. And we're only just beginning to crack the surface. Section 3: From scarcity to staple. How post-war Japan fell in love with eggs. It wasn't always like this. For most of Japanese history, eggs were a luxury. Before World War II, eggs were rare and expensive. Most people couldn't afford to eat them regularly. In the countryside, families with chickens might have a few. But in cities, they were a treat, something special for the sick or elderly. Then came the war, and everything changed. Japan faced a food crisis. Malnutrition was everywhere. The government began looking for cheap, dense sources of nutrition. And eggs, with their protein, fat, and vitamins, became a target. In the 1950s, Japan imported high-yielding breeds like the Leghorn. These chickens laid more eggs, more often. At the same time, the media and schools promoted eggs as health food. Commercials, posters, even textbooks told people, eggs build strength. The idea worked. By the 1960s, eggs had gone from rare to routine. They were no longer a luxury. They were part of daily life. And it wasn't just marketing. Japanese people really felt the benefits. Post-war health improved, and eggs were part of that story. In a way, eggs helped rebuild the nation quietly, affordably, and efficiently. Isn't it interesting how food can carry the memory of a country's struggle? Today, Japanese children still grow up hearing that eggs make them strong. It's not just food, it's nutrition, tradition, and resilience all rolled into one. That emotional bond is hard to break, and maybe that's why Japan never stopped loving eggs. Section 4: Designer Eggs. Japan's Gourmet Revolution. How many types of eggs can you buy at your local store? 2? Maybe 3? In Japan, it's not unusual to find more than 30. Yes, 30 different kinds of eggs. All from chickens. Welcome to the world of designer eggs. These aren't genetically modified. They're not artificial or fake. They're real eggs from real chickens fed very real, very specific diets. Some hens are fed seaweed and sardines for omega-3s. Others get basil, cinnamon, or turmeric for flavor and color. Some eggs are rich in vitamin E. Others have higher DHA for brain function. Want a nutty-tasting yolk? Look for eggs from hens that eat sesame and molasses. Even the yolk color can be adjusted. Farmers use carrots and pumpkins to make it deeper and more vibrant. One store even sold eggs from chickens fed 25 kinds of Chinese herbs. Those eggs cost $70 for a pack of 10. The yolk was dark orange. The shell was hard to crack. And the taste? Rich, creamy, and oddly sweet. These eggs are made to be eaten raw. And when you taste one, you understand why. Only in Japan could eggs become a luxury item, crafted with the same care as fine tea or premium beef. Why? Because food here is more than fuel. It's an experience, a philosophy, a form of respect. So next time you think, an egg is just an egg, come to Japan, try a designer egg, and prepare to be amazed. Section 5: Why raw eggs are safe in Japan but not everywhere. In many countries, eating raw eggs is a risk. People worry about salmonella, and for good reason. But in Japan, raw eggs are part of daily life. You crack them over rice. You dip meat into them. You even find them raw in convenience stores. So how is this possible? How can Japanese people eat raw eggs every day and stay healthy? The answer lies in hygiene. Japan has some of the strictest egg safety standards in the world. Eggs are washed, inspected, packed, and refrigerated with extreme care. In fact, the salmonella infection rate in Japanese eggs is just 0.0029%. That's so low, the average person might get sick from an egg once every 2 lifetimes. Compare that to other countries, where eggs might not be washed at all, or they sit at room temperature, or aren't labeled with expiration dates. In Japan, every egg has a clear best by and even safe raw consumption date. There's no guesswork. Egg producers test for bacteria constantly, and the supply chain is fast, cold, and clean. This isn't just government regulation. It's cultural. In Japan, food safety is a matter of national pride. And when a culture cares that much, even raw eggs become safe. So next time you see a Japanese person crack an egg over rice, don't be shocked. Be impressed. Because behind that one smooth motion there's an entire system of trust. A system that most countries would struggle to match. Section 6. Cooked versus raw, which is healthier? In the West, raw eggs make people nervous. In Japan, raw eggs are comfort food. So here's the question. Which is actually healthier, cooked eggs or raw? The answer is it depends. Cooking eggs makes some nutrients easier to absorb, but it can also damage others, especially delicate fats and antioxidants in the yolk. When egg yolks are overcooked, the healthy omega-3 fats start to oxidize. That means they break down and become harmful instead of helpful. So while scrambled eggs are delicious, they're not always ideal for maximum nutrition. On the other hand, raw eggs preserve all their natural fats and vitamins. But they also contain a compound called abidin, which can reduce your body's ability to absorb biotina B vitamin. The good news? If you eat a balanced diet, that small loss isn't a big deal. In Japan, lightly cooked eggs like onsen tamago are popular. They strike a nice balance, safe, soft, and full of nutrients. And here's something to think about. Why do Westerners see raw eggs as gross, while Japanese people see them as pure? Is it hygiene, habit, or something deeper about how each culture views nature and the body? In one country, raw means dangerous. In another, it means clean, fresh, and even healing. Maybe the real difference isn't in the eggs themselves, but in how we've been taught to see them. So what about you? Would you ever try cracking a raw egg over rice? Or does the thought still make you hesitate? Let us know in the comments. Your answer might surprise even you. Section 7. Eggs and the cholesterol myth. What science actually says. For decades, we were told not to eat too many eggs. They're high in cholesterol, they said. They'll clog your arteries. But was that ever really true? In 2015, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines quietly dropped the cholesterol warning. Why? Because science had changed. Turns out, the cholesterol you eat doesn't affect your blood cholesterol very much. Your body makes about 85% of it on its own. When you eat more, your body just makes less. When you eat less, it makes more. It balances itself. So unless you have a rare condition like familial hypercholesterolemia, eating eggs won't raise your risk of heart disease. In fact, eggs might do the opposite. They contain choline, which helps break down fat in the liver. They also provide antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, great for your eyes and brain. One study even followed an 88-year-old man who ate 25 eggs a day for 15 years. He had normal cholesterol and no heart disease. Of course, you don't need to go that far. But 1 or 2 or even 3 eggs a day. For most people, it's perfectly fine. So why do headlines still warn us? Why do people still fear eggs? It might be habit, or fear from older studies that didn't control for other factors, like smoking, diet quality, or lack of exercise. When we finally look at eggs in isolation, the story becomes clearer. They're not the problem. In fact, they might be part of the solution. Section 8. The ultimate superfood. Why eggs might be perfect. If you could design the perfect food, one that's compact, affordable, and packed with nutrients, it would probably look like an egg. Inside one shell, you get protein, healthy fats, iron, vitamin A, vitamin B12, riboflavin, choline, zinc, calcium, the list goes on. In fact, eggs contain a little bit of every essential vitamin and mineral. Except vitamin C. That's incredible. For just 70 calories, you get complete protein and brain-boosting nutrients. No wonder athletes, doctors, and chefs all love eggs. And let's talk about vitamin D. Around 40% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. That can lead to fatigue, depression, weak bones, and more. But 10 eggs a day? That gives you 100% of your daily vitamin D needs. No sun required. Compare that to a protein bar or multivitamin. One is processed, one is synthetic. But an egg? It's whole, it's natural, it's real, and it's not just for breakfast anymore. You can boil it, poach it, fry it, bake it, steam it, or eat it raw. You can put it on rice, in soup, in bread, in noodles. Or just crack it open and drink it like Rocky. For a single ingredient, eggs might be the most versatile food on earth. They're easy to store, easy to cook, and they last for weeks. And in a world where food insecurity is rising, that matters more than ever. We talk a lot about superfoods, but maybe the real superfood has been sitting quietly in our fridge all along. Section 9, from bento to convenience stores: how eggs fit Japan's lifestyle. In Japan, eggs aren't just nutritious. They're practical. Think about IT. Life in Japan moves fast. Long commutes, tight schedules, minimal kitchens. People don't always have time for a full meal. That's where eggs come in. You'll find them in bento boxes across the country. A perfectly rolled tamagoyaki, slightly sweet and warm. Or a boiled egg, tucked beside rice and pickles. In ramen shops, a soft boiled egg floats in rich broth. On convenience store shelves, you'll find eggs ready to eat, no prep required. There's even onsen tamago, slow cooked in hot spring water, sold in pouches for grab-and-go nutrition. Eggs work for any meal, any time. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a snack in between. That flexibility fits Japan's lifestyle perfectly. And let's not forget shelf life. Properly refrigerated, eggs last for weeks. That makes them reliable, low waste, and budget-friendly. In a society that values cleanliness, order, and efficiency, it's no surprise eggs became a national staple. But it goes deeper than convenience. Japanese culture prizes foods that are subtle, nourishing, and balanced. And eggs? They check every box. They're soft, but filling. Simple, but rich. They pair with everything from rice to miso to soy sauce. And when time is short and hunger strikes, one egg can save the day. In Japan, eggs aren't just a food. They're a lifestyle match. A quiet little miracle that works anytime, anywhere. Section 10, will the world follow Japan's egg culture? For decades, Japan has quietly built a culture around eggs. Not just eating them, but trusting them, celebrating them, even refining them. From Tamago cake Gohan in a rural kitchen to $70 designer eggs in luxury stores, eggs have become a symbol of health, comfort, and quality. In Japan, the egg is more than food. It's a promise of purity, care, and nourishment. But what about the rest of the world? Will other countries follow Japan's lead? As people search for healthier, simpler, more sustainable foods, eggs are making a comeback. More nutritionists are recommending them. More chefs are celebrating them. Even science is defending them. And yet, old myths still linger. Fear of cholesterol, discomfort with raw food, a belief that simple means boring. Japan proves the opposite. With care, culture, and creativity, even something as humble as an egg can become extraordinary. So maybe the question isn't, will the world copy Japan? Maybe it's, what else have we overlooked that was right in front of us all along? In a time of trends and confusion, eggs offer clarity. They're whole, they're timeless, and they're quietly brilliant. Whether you boil them, beat them, fry them, or just crack one over rice, the egg is always there, ready to feed you. So next time you open your fridge, remember what this little shell holds. Not just food, but the story of a culture that never stopped believing in something simple and made it extraordinary. What do you think about this part of Japanese culture? Is it the same where you live or totally different? I'd love to hear your thoughts or questions in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.